reconnect and see if that works. Trying to load the stream up on my end, and it's just doing a buffering thing. Hello? Yo, are we back? It's back? Okay, I've just been talking, trying to see what's happening here. Okay, let's find out how laggy the chat is. The word is gonna be Kraken. If you type Kraken in chat, I can see how laggy you are compared to me. There's Kraken in chat. Okay, so I just saw you. Well, we're back. I paused the game. You didn't miss anything. No idea why there was a big F in chat, because everything is totally green at 6,000 kilobits per second on my end. So who knows? Who can say? I told you, God himself does not want us to go to Minmus. It's just been one of those days. Internet, Twitch servers, many different bugs in Kerbal 2. Are we there yet? We are not there yet, but we're gonna have a burn. We're at 10 times warp right now. Tox, is this why you don't stream on Sundays? This is why I don't stream Early Access Infancy 3 days in a row. No, it's... I'm having fun, but I feel like I have to have fun in spite of the game bugs. Shall we say. Because... 2/3 of the stream so far, like it only took us 20 minutes to dock successfully at the beginning of the stream. And then 2/3 of the stream have been troubleshooting why nothing works. This is actually probably going to be a long burn, and I should have already started the burn. Because I have no idea what the burn time is. Unfortunately, the burn timer does not tell us the burn time before we start burning. So I probably was supposed to already be burning. But this is the Minmus burn. Transfer to Minmus is go. Got 794 Delta V. We started at 2,500, so I'm just gonna math it out. Should put us at 1,700. So I should just stop around 1,700 Delta V. Well, at least the thuds aren't firing, but we look a little wobbly here, which is interesting. Considering these can articulate. Let's see, how's the physics simulation? 44 seconds, 45 seconds. It's like halftime. It's like halftime, I guess. Oh, I keep hitting that instead of the map. Chat, are we... No, we're good. But yeah, the start burn and counter is misleading and not accurate. It do be rocking back and forth a little bit. And we don't need to burn for 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't like the encounter icon either. Everything glows too much. So I calculated that based on the 800 delta V, we're supposed to stop at, what, 1700? What is the start and stop burn timer for? It's for that, but it's bugged. It doesn't work. All the counts are misleading. Kinda have to do it yourself. I finished my therapy session and have built up my self-esteem enough to withstand chat for 2 hours. That's what streaming is like, God nukes. You have to build up your self-esteem enough to withstand chat. All right, we're at 1800. I'm just gonna stop it myself at about 1700, and then hope for the best. That is Kerbal engineering at its finest. Just go and hope for the best, and worry about correcting it later. All right, let's go ahead and cut thrust. When the gas tank says seven. Damn, I missed both of them. $16.99. We'll take $16.99. Seems like there's a separate music track. That's not actually gonna happen. Right? We had a perfect maneuver node for an encounter with Minmus. All right, let's save and be on our way, chat, because it's gonna be a bit before we get there. So say goodbye to Kerbin for now. And I'm gonna speed up the time simulation. We're slowing down dramatically. We're at just 1,000 meters per second. Minmus is there. I think that's Kerbin, right? It's gotta be Kerbin. 700 meters per second. So all I really need to do, assuming that this is accurate, is just set up a maneuver node right here with like a retrograde burn, I guess. What are you doing, friend? Is that where Minmus is gonna be for this? Did I overshoot this by how did I overshoot this by 500 meters per second delta V? I used the exact amount of delta V that it said on the burn timer. And also, I think it just messed up the maneuver node. The game has altered the node. Pray it does not alter it any further. Point at Minmus and fire your engines. But then I'm really gonna overshoot it. I think the problem is we're going way too fast right now. What? Okay, I think we're just gonna have to use more fuel than we originally wanted to. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna shoot my way out there. At 1,000 times speed as we continue to decelerate. Why would it matter if I slowed down earlier? Do I not expend less fuel by waiting until our momentum has already lessened? I am decelerating now. I'm moving 500 meters per second relative to... Let's set it relative to my target. So, Minmus, I'm only moving 545 meters per second right now. All I have to do is slow down here, and Minmus will be here. And I can expend very tiny amount of fuel at Apoapsis to come to an almost complete stop until Minmus rolls in. Same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna speed up a bit. Make a save. Right around here. Okay. Let's get ready for the burn. 5, 4, 3. Need to accelerate the clock. And with about 60 seconds left, I need to go ahead and SAS maneuver into our target position, or our maneuver node. God, I just looked back over here. What happened to this staging branch icon? Okay, let's do like... you know what, let's line the burn up exactly when it says, just so that we can do it and say that we did it. More curb, for better and worse, she's the worst. We've had some internet problems today, we've had bugs today. Whew, it has been fully loaded. 4, 3, 2, 1, burn. Stop burn in 51 seconds. That seems like a lot. My Delta V's! So apparently we used way too much Delta V on the way out to Minmus, but again, I'm blaming the node planner there. We We are decelerating relative to the target quite quickly. It just reset your burn bar when you change scenes. I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna watch the apoapsis here. Do it this way. We're wasting a bunch of fuel. Bunch of fuel. I'm just gonna go a little further out so we get closer to the orbital line. Okay, we're gonna be going incredibly slow up there. So, is this Minmus? Where is Minmus? Oh, that's Minmus, right? Yeah, that's gotta be Minmus. Okay. So we're gonna time warp, and just let it get significantly closer to us. Where is it? Am I crazy or is this not an encounter? It's not an encounter. We're just gonna ram into it at full speed. And now, it is an encounter because the game didn't know that it was going to be an encounter until it was. See, you just send it. It was unable to predict this unanticipated encounter with a celestial body. All right, I don't know if this is going to involve me ramming into it. You know, 166 meters per second delta V. Whew. Buckle up, chat. We're going to Minmus. Or rather, Minmus is going to us. Hopefully we don't ram into it. But yeah, right now it's odd that the maneuver nodes and the planner is unable to even predict an encounter, which is sort of its entire purpose. And it just randomly changed once we got closer to it, as you just saw. Crashing into it is also landing. Hilariously, we probably would be able to land with this. It would just be a little unsteady. Are we going to crash into it? We shouldn't, based on the trajectories that I just looked at. I'm going to confirm. I'm going to confirm that we will miss it. We'll be at a periapsis of 31,000 meters. Welcome to Minmus. Okay. I'm just gonna be making a save at every step in case we need to restart the game to fix SAS or something like that at some point. Save scum is ready. I do like the dynamic music, though. That's really nice. Okay, and it's going to be a very small burn. Only 166 delta V. So we're going to go ahead and 1x speed. Let's go ahead and let SAS find the maneuver node. We are burning from this end. This is our lander. Did they put a unique sound or song on for each planetary body? Because that would be sick. If this is specifically for Minmus, I really like this one, but it might just be for any landing. All right, I'm just gonna follow the timer for this. 3, 2, 1, and burn for orbit. We're slowing down so that we don't slingshot past Minmus, and we'll have capture. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little bouncy, but let me check periapsis and apoapsis. Okay, we have orbit. So what I'd like to do is just face retrograde, which we are, and just burn a little bit. Just try to bring the apoapsis down, because it won't take very much delta V from here. Just a teeny bit of burn, 26. We're getting lower periapsis as well, because we're not going to be perfectly even. I just wanted to bring it in a little bit. Okay. 22K and 37K is plenty. Why does it say we're gonna have a... We're good, we're good. Don't worry about that. Okay, save again. Minmus, lander, separation. Chad, I think we're ready, dude. We are, we already have Bill inside the other lander. We should be golden to just undock. I don't know if there's another procedure. I need to try and control from the tuna can. And then we undock. As soon as I did that, the internet crashed. Hello? Cox, the fastest internet in Las Vegas. This is they run advertisements on all my YouTube videos. The fastest internet in Las Vegas, dude. What is the problem? You're still here. I am still here. Okay, before we try this landing maneuver, and to give it some time to cook, let Cox cook. Okay, chat. I'm gonna take a bathroom break and take the dog outside and go get something to drink. That undocking maneuver should not have cost us any altitude. So I'm just gonna leave this unpaused. And you guys can just wave goodbye to this section of the vessel as it floats off screen, okay? But yeah, I'm just giving the internet some time to come back and fix itself, and then we can focus on landing on Minmus, and then the hard part, rendezvous. I'm which I have no idea how to do. That's gonna be fun. I'll be back in just a few. Hang tight. Okay. And we're gone. Where is the rest of the ship? All the way up there. It crashed. I don't believe you. Okay. Let's make sure this works. Number 1. FUDs are online. They just automatically turn back on. Okay. Number 2. Let's make sure that we have sexy cabin light turned on. Pew. Because duh. Step 3. Let's take down the solar panels just to prevent any sort of clipping and from flipping. This music is good. Now, SAS, help us out. We want to flip retrograde, but I need to re-enable the torque. The reaction wheel was turned off for testing earlier. I think we're ready, Chad. All I'm gonna do... this is an interesting orbital pattern we have here. Maybe we should have corrected the orbit before detaching. Starting to have second thoughts about that. It's still gonna be possible. I don't know, whatever. Let's just go. I don't want to go all the way back, dock, correct the orbit, and then come back. Bob, you gonna do this for us? I'm just gonna decelerate. Like, I don't know if there's any other secret to it than that. Just turn retrograde and burn, baby. Fire those engines. Fire. Create a stage and then move them to it. How do you create a stage? Didn't the engine say status offline? Oh, wow. So the UI is backwards. So the deactivate... Now, okay, now they're right. It's reset after I fired them. Okay, well... I'm sorry. I am sorry. Chat, are my engines not symmetrical somehow? Is SAS bugged? Because SAS should be able to not wobble this much. Oh, I'm rocketing away now. I don't want to land in the dark side. Do you know how hard it's going to be to get back on this orbit from where we are right now? For God's sakes. Okay, whatever. We're just going to go straight down to there. The good news is, chat, that I have literally no idea how much fuel we have. Literally no idea. Could be a lot, could be a little. About 2/3. And we're just gonna need the time to accelerate down to the surface because we've got 32,000 meters to just straight drop. We are accelerating, of course, but I got 4 thuds. These things have, and we're very light, so it won't take very much time to decelerate. Just going wherever. I'm allergic to landing on Minmus. All right, landing gear. Beautiful. More landing gear than we'll ever need. It's good music. Could have landed in there. That would have been worse. Okay, let me just do a little test of the engines and kind of see what a little thrust does. Oh yeah, we can decelerate rapidly. Got a little bit of thrust on just to slow us down. I'm a little worried about getting back up to where we need to be. We can definitely withstand like at least a 15 meter per second impact if I wanted to. I'd like it to be a little gentler than that. All right, ground is coming up fast. 500, 400. I don't get the impression this is actually facing retrograde. If it were actually facing retrograde, we wouldn't be completely level while also flowing to the left. Right? Something's wonky here. Oh, I need to... Okay, yep. Yeah. Okay, just a little bounce. Just a light bounce. No prob. Just gonna slide down the hill. And touchdown. On a little slope. Just in time for darkness. Well, if we had more fuel, I would, change where we've landed, but we're not going to be getting any power there, are we? All right, Bob. Let's hop on out and see what we got to deal with here. Let's open up this telescopic ladder. Which hilariously we can't connect to. There we go. And there's our man Bob. Yeah, I should have put some spotlights on this thing, huh? I didn't expect we were going to land on the dark shadow side, but here we are. Let's get EVA thrusters and take a little trip around Minmus. Not literally around it. The funny thing is, if the lander gets stuck, I can still get Bob back, which is EVA thrust alone. Seem to be floating there, Bob. Just a little, just a smidge. Well, let's plant that flag. Well, that's not what I wanted to say. You can't type numbers. Ironically, this is one character short of typing characters plural. So I think that's perfect. No type number in space game. Also, it doesn't disable pause game hotkeys while you're typing. So some of the hotkeys are still working while I'm typing. Yep, it just paused it again. The Kraken with a C. I'm a little busy, chat. We defeated SAS, the Kraken, the Thuds, and docking to get to Minmus. You can manipulate jetpack thrust now. 100% probably is best case. All right, let's quick save. Chat, is F5 quick save in this? Yeah. Yeah, I have heard that Kerbals can withstand very high impact landings. So let's test how that is. Yeah, what did mission control just say a second ago? All right, we're at 132 meters per second impact on the surface of Minmus. Chat, they cannot withstand, but you can never stop learning, says the tutorial. So that's good to know. Every day I'm suffering. Well, it appears I have successfully returned to the surface. Add that one to the bug tracker, saving and loading while on the surface of a planet, especially Minmus. I know it's not a planet, but whatever, a body. Use that bug to see where all the good ores are. Damn, I want to do some mining right now. Damn, I want to do some mining. Chat, where's my ship? Did my ship also fall through the surface? Okay, watch for the white reticle that says where my ship is. It has an identifying tag on it. There. 110. This time I didn't fall through the surface and it's there. Okay, I believe my ship also fell through the surface. So saving on the surface of at least Minmus is risky at best. We have landed on Minmus successfully, a first for Kerbal-kind and a first in our game of, or experience of Kerbal 2. I would take a picture, but I don't think this is a very picturesque location here where I've parked. So I will simply return home now. We don't have any science or anything like that in Kerbal 2 yet. Okay, how the heck are we gonna rendezvous with our ship with as little fuel as we've got? Well, it's easy. You can only find your way home if you turn on the crew light. Do you really need to rendezvous? I do. Let's turn on RCS. Tuck those landing legs. Chat, does... G is not retracting the landing legs. You can see sometimes they pulse. Okay, so now I need to what? Get an orbit? Let's face prograde and just burn just to get apoapsis up. How am I gonna do this? Hello? Okay. All right, well, I guess you don't is the answer. Because nothing's working. Maneuver nodes are for cowards. It's not even moving. I'm not paused, you dingus first time chatter. All right, I'm gonna make a save. Okay, again. What the hell? Expert difficulty. We're gonna have to reload the entire game. Okay, restart game. Whoo, dude! I don't I don't know if there's hard drives big enough to contain the list of bugs on a Word file. I don't know. I don't know how I'm finding so many. Game's unpaused. Let's yep, chat. I think this save might be bugged because I just restarted the whole game. The bug goes away if you orbit higher. But I'm already going to 32,000 apoapsis. I also don't know if you've noticed, but I'm ostensibly moving at 99 meters per second away from the surface, but my ground altitude is not changing. The altimeter is locked at 10,241. Oh, you can't see shit. And then Cox is trying to take down my internet at the same time. It's okay, there's nothing to see. Because there's no line. There's no line. The altimeter is frozen. I'm still moving. My apoapsis and periapsis are still changing. If I thrust, nothing max throttle. For the people that are always like, do you have fuel? Because you guys are like innumerable. There's a stage now that doesn't do anything. SAS is already on, you silly chatter. Chat, stop. You can't fix. You can't fix it. Even if we reactivated the thuds, I appear to be. Let's try fast forwarding. Okay, now we're back, and I'm gone. Rendezvous over Minmus? Hold on, let me put my shoes on.
Honey, your tendies are ready.
I'm coming, Mom! Oh, it's working now. The power of tendies. I don't know where we are going, but we're going very fast and nothing's updating on my UI. I don't think we fixed anything. I think that the game just picked a direction, and when I unpause, or when I go back to 1x speed, we'll teleport back to Minmus. Shockingly, that's not what happened. I can, weirdly, still rotate the ship. We don't have any thrust from the thrusters for some reason. You can see a brief fireball and nothing. Surface speeds don't change. RCS still works, nothing else does. Whew. Okay, hang on. Okay. Aww. Wait, it's as soon as I go to map mode. It's the map. Hold on. If I don't go to the map, watch. If I don't go to the map, the UI elements in the bottom left work. See, we got grounds. Altitude's actually changing. I have thrusters. These are updating and we're actually moving. My apoapsis is at 156,000. Which is not what I want. No, Minmish, I want to come back. Okay, so like right now, everything is working. Thrusters are working. Now, when I switch to map, I can try deleting the node. And then things still work, kind of. But I can't actually create maneuvers because there's no line. Delete the node before you go to the map. Still no line. Someone said if you just get far enough away, then it works. So I'm just gonna set an apoapsis to like a ridiculous quantity and then like super fast forward. See if it comes back. Unlimited Delta V. Okay, but like... just point at Kerbin and burn. Yeah, but this is not the return vessel. Something happened, but did I just run out of fuel? Yeah. Okay, that was me running out of fuel, I think. Yep. Okay, what if we just go back to this? Ship? Ship? Ship! Okay, what if we go back to the quick save? Let's all close our eyes and imagine the rest of the mission. Okay, the first time we streamed Kerbal 2 on launch, I felt kind of bad because I was like, man, I really just kind of like broke some shit at the beginning and laughed and did I go too hard? And then after like today especially, I don't think it was possible for me to go too hard. I want to have fun really bad, but and I did have fun when we actually docked successfully. That was a genuine like feels good moment, but the rest of it, the other 2.5 hours has just been troubleshooting the game today. Like, I'm trying to give it a genuine chance, and I'm also not salty about it either. Like, I'm not, like, mad or angry. I don't really care. Like, they can keep my money, just give me a good game later, and I'm fine with that. Like, if you don't want to do that, I totally understand, but I'm fine with it, because I want the, like, okay, if everything worked, like, if everything in Kerbal 2 worked right now, I would still stop playing it at the around exact same time, because I'd still only really have paid in for colonies and resource management, which is not in the game yet anyways. So I'm sort of like at the same stage I would be even if everything was working perfectly. Just slower because I keep having to reload my saves. So yeah, I would have bought it either way, and I still would have like sort of gotten my fun out of the bits that are in the bare bones initial release, and then sort of gone dark on it, waiting for the new content. All right, we're just gonna take off. Like, if you just joined, we're having a bug where we don't have any orbit lines or maneuver lines on the map. 60k apoaps is too much. Oh, I have it back. Okay, well, shit, I just spent too much fuel doing that. So I have to reload now because I just wasted precious fuel. I just assumed it wasn't gonna work, so I didn't really like... It's okay, because I'm not allowed to open the resource manager now. We found a new bug, and it's not telling me how much fuel we have. So, it's a mystery. It's a surprise. Oh, never mind. This still doesn't work anyway. Maneuver nodes are still broken, so we can never rendezvous. This is just the map getting me to pull its finger. And then it farts in my face. EJ ran into the same thing. You have to activate the engine to get maneuver nodes. Activate the engine. My engines are activated. My altimeter froze. Yeah, my altimeter froze again in the map, and... Rendezvous by eye. I don't even know what direction that is. Or else I'd try. What happens if you return to Kerbal Space Center and back again? I don't know. I'm gonna wait until I get to my ship. I know it's dark, but there is a mountain right here. Super dark. Very atmospheric, though. Okay. Let's just make another save. In here, so we don't have to keep flying back. And then we can try going back to Kerbal Space Center. Maybe. Donk. But yeah, like, for me, I just find this genre and others like it very, very appealing because I think for me, I love the idea of starting with something very simple, like having rudimentary boosters and thrusters and command pods and the minimum amount of science. And just going from that to working your way up the ladder, you know, like setting up shop, like, ooh, I love the drip feed of content from getting research on Kerbin, then getting research in atmosphere, then in space, in orbit, and then going to the moon, and then just iterating over and over again on top of that. And that's what I'm hoping happens with colonies and interstellar travel and all that later down the line. Right now, I'd just be happy if everything worked. But I think I always just crave those sci-fi games that give me the steady... Okay, we're fine. Giving me the steady climb of progression from zero to hero. Okay, let's try again. What are we doing here? Chat, what should I try in this attempt? Maybe I should just, like, turn RCS on. Give a little bit of thrust. And then what if I just turned toward the horizon line myself? Okay, that apoapsis shot up to 150,000 so fast. I'm wasting a bunch of fuel just to... We can redo this nicely before. How do we get periapsis up from here without looking at the map? Do I just have to wait until I'm at apoapsis? So, I've already wasted too much fuel. That's okay. This is just an experiment. What we're trying to do is see if we can get an orbit without even looking at the map, because the map seems to be the issue that keeps bugging it over and over again. Hopefully it lets me fast forward more soon. Let's turn RCS off. G no longer retracts landing gear for some reason. Apoapsis and periapsis just updated. I lost like 10,000 meters. And now I lost another 5,000 meters. Chat, is there an atmosphere on Minmus now? I am losing apoapsis and periapsis. It's actively going down. The Kraken. The Kraken is reaching for you. Like, this feels like atmospheric drag. I'm gonna use RCS to try to boost our apoapsis up. The tiniest amount of thrust. F12, alright, screenshot time. Bunch of zeros. No. Bunch of zeros. But yeah, we're losing we're losing altitude. All right, I'm just gonna open the map. Stop taking so many screenshots. Like, we have an orbital ring. It's cutting through the planet. The problem is the maneuver node doesn't work. At all. Bong, 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 bong. The Delta V required is updating, but there's no visual update. I have heard SAS toggle might solve the bug. I highly doubt it, but I am willing to try. No. Yeah, and the gimbal is locked again. The all the information here is locked. It's all information frozen. Thank you, Skivs, for the 17 months. I saw some people showing up to stream recently. We've just been stuck on Minmus because there's some game-breaking bugs. And we've reloaded. We've tried different saves. We've restarted the game. We've done all the things. We've gone back to Kerbal. Or Kerbal Space Center. We've gone back here. There's atmospheric drag over Minmus. I'm not sure if there's anything that we can do to overcome this. What did we learn? Still 3,000 Delta V, though. Delta V is a lie! It's made up! Okay, let's try switching ships. I'm curious what happens on the other ship. Oh, man. Okay, let's do... How's it going? Are we handling the bugs well? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're handling them. Hello. Yeah. Yep. They are being handled. Okay. So, this is we started out the stream by docking with this ship. We docked successfully, okay? So we overcame the issue I had yesterday, which was a skill issue. And now I have at least the minimum amount of skill necessary to dock. I don't think I could do it again under harsher circumstances, but that's a problem for a different day. Now the problem is that we've separated the lander from the main body. The lander is on Minmus, over here, the dark space. We were going to do a rendezvous after landing as we enter the shadow of Minmus. Unfortunately, all maneuver nodes have stopped working. What I'm going to do is turn SAS on, and it seems like one thing that keeps happening for me is when instruments freeze or there are other problems, firing the thrusters even a little bit seems to reset information. For example, it seems that we have no fuel. However, when I fire the thruster even briefly, now we have fuel. So it updates UI elements only when you use thrusters. Next, what I'd like to do is I want to watch the altimeter here, which, chat, have you noticed that... Never mind, I think it's just we're going over mountainous sections. My apoapsis and periapsis are staying stable. Okay. But if we open the map, let's see if these instruments freeze. They do not. Let's try making a maneuver node at the periapsis. We actually have a functional maneuver node. Interesting. So yeah, it's something to do with being on the surface. So what I'm going to try and do now is go back to the tracking station, switch to the lander. We're going to do a little takeoff here. One of the problems with this is that there is no stage, and I don't know how to add a stage. Thruster graphics? Maybe it's just not much thrust. Let's get an apoapsis. I don't even really care about direction right now. I just want... Oh, the landing legs button works now. Interesting. Just a teeny bit of thrust. Okay, we got like 30-ish thousand apoapsis here. Whew. We are losing it. Like, we're losing apoapsis as if there were atmospheres. That's still a thing. Should I open the map now? How do I... We just need to get further away from the ground. Should I just point up? It's gonna increase our apoapsis by a lot. I don't want to go that high. Okay, apoapsis stopped going down. Once we hit like 3 to 4,000. No, it goes down when you're on 1 times speed. So I paused at 51,512 when we started time warp at 4x. 51,512. Does it skip when I go back to 1 times speed? No, it just starts ticking down on 1 times speed. That's hilarious. Okay, so if we just fast forward, we don't lose apoapsis or periapsis. Okay, well now we're at like 13k. See if it starts still going down. But we can time warp a little faster now. So what I want to do is get to like much closer to our apoapsis, which is 51k. We're at 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And I just want to create a stable orbit myself. 47. Okay, we actually started going back towards the ground, so that's not what I wanted. Let's... Is the apoapsis number a lie? Maybe. I'm just gonna burn prograde here. Okay, we have 6641. That is a good orbit. I'm gonna open the map now. I'm actually gonna try this though. I'm gonna make a save up here. Okay, make a save. And let's try opening the map. We do have a ring. God, we are a cross section from where we're supposed to be, which is kind of hilarious. And then if I try to make a maneuver, what happens? Nothing! Huzzah! Cool. Now what happens if I load the save that I just saved? Altimeter still works. But it stops as soon as I try to make a maneuver. Whenever you try and make a maneuver, everything freezes. Okay, here's the thing. If I had enough fuel, I could just have the other ship rendezvous, but I don't have that much fuel. It'd be much easier to use the fuel that's inside the lander, because that's what it's there for. I still have a third of a tank. Man, this reminds me of when I built this computer and I had 2 motherboards back-to-back arrive, dead on arrival. And I had to go online and try to figure out if it was a skill issue or if there was a bad batch. I feel like I'm troubleshooting my PC right now. Does anybody know how to add a stage? In flight. What happens if you toggle velocity back to orbit mode? I don't know, what happens? Are you building a theater? There is no plus button near the stage. Yeah, I think I already knew my staging was super bugged. Okay, let's do this. Wait, which one's which? So because this one has stages that aren't bugged. We can probably create maneuver nodes just fine, is what we're sort of learning. Yeah. Is there an easier way to do this? Maybe just go rotate the other way. I did this the worst way possible, but it was an act of desperation. We were... I'm gonna need to retrograde burn as well. Okay, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2. Now it's going up the other way. Wow. That actually is lined up pretty dang well. We just need the apoapsis, which I cannot right-click to see. Okay, not allowed to see what any of those numbers are. How, am I doing the wrong things? What the heck am I doing now? I feel like I was very close to making this work, and then did I reverse directions or something? What is that spinning so much for? We're having some big time difficulties. Maybe I should just focus on setting up this to be as close as possible. I was trying to get it to below 0.2, but I can't quite get it below 0.2. Okay, we're trying to orient our our orbit to be in line with the lander. Unfortunately, it's going to take precious Delta V. Yeah, I can move the maneuver node slightly, but it's very difficult while it's rotating. And it's rotating because... Oh my god. I was trying to grab the maneuver node, now I don't know what I just grabbed. This system leaves something to be desired. I'm flustered, chat. That's point 1. I'm scared to try and move it. There we go. Just make sure the middle's highlighted, I guess. That's point 2, point 3. But you see why it's so hard to move? Because it's so fragile. I can get down to point 1. That's just gonna have to do. All right, 0.1 degree. Okay. This isn't how I intended to do this, but I guess I'm just gonna give it a try. Six minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and turn. Make sure we're controlling from the correct command pod. Control from here. Turn SAS on. Let's go ahead and rotate towards our maneuver node. Should be a relatively short burn. How's Intersecting Circle Simulator going? I'd say poorly today. Poorly. We're doing our best, as the campaign name suggests. Three, 2, 1, go. Why is it turning so much? This doesn't seem right at all. Yeah. Okay, well, I did a maneuver node, and it's just kind of decided to crash me into the planet. The burn timer calculator is not great. Sorry, it's not a planet, but you know what I mean. Okay. How does anything work here, dude? Just give me a maneuver. Let me get an orbit out here, okay? We can fix the other things when we get to them. Fix it in post. Chat, when I went on break, I had to take some medicine for the headache. Oh, it hurt my brain, dude. It hurt my brain. Is it working? Ah, the caffeine's helping. The caffeine is also helping. Yeah, I'm just gonna do one burn for orbit and then another burn for angle separately. Make this a little easier. Should be very short. That's why I'm just gonna like keep the map open so I can physically see it. One. Dude, the burn timer needs to update faster. It was a it just needs to tell me how long the burn is before I start the burn. There was like a 1 second burn. All right, that'll work. We're running out of fuel in this thing. Okay, so where is my friend? Still my target. Okay, he's still my target. Is this the ascending node and this is the descending node? So I can get us down to what, 0.2? We're trying to line these up. Okay, oh, 0.1, nice. Okay, it can't go better than that, even if I move this. That is the smallest imaginable burn. Okay, good lord. We shouldn't even be flying with this. We're supposed to be rendezvousing with the lander, but that isn't working. A 7 DV burn, hell yeah. Eight minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Chat, do you really think after everything that you've seen today that we should be warping to maneuver nodes when we know that sometimes even reverting to launch can warp the entire shape of your ship and cause it to malfunction? The burn timer isn't even accurate in Kerbal 2. So why would I want to warp past my burn? Okay, 7 Delta V's, so we're at only 223, so I need to stop at 216. Okay, whatever, close enough. Wait, we're still 3.5? Oh, I just burned a random burn retrograde. I didn't change to maneuver node. Send a bug report to your brain. I'm working on it. Okay, in all of this, we're actually catching up to the lander because this actually may not be the worst thing right now. We should be going faster than the lander since we're inside of it. It might take a little while to catch up to it. Okay, now let's face maneuver. There we go. All right. 7 Delta V, that's all we need. $208. Three, two, one. Point one. Okay. We're at point one. Now we want to kind of just time warp, I think, until we catch up to the lander, and then we're gonna need to match its orbit. I mean, it's the height of its orbit. So we're traveling at about 154 meters per second. It's not that fast. Camera is shifting oddly, but yeah, we're catching up to it now. Chat, at what point should I adjust? For what? Maybe just one more lap? Okay, where we're really going to catch up to it is on this side. Camera? I have no idea what I'm doing here. Because we're basically, like, already caught up to it, which is... Oops. We went too fast. I'm just going to accelerate ever so slightly. We went too far. We went too speedily. The hard part about switching to the lander is it's completely bugged. And if I even dare switch to map view in the lander, it will freeze. Completely bugged. All right, I'm just gonna burn prograde here. Try to expand the circle a bit. I'm almost out of juice. Alright, now it's right behind us. How can I tell how far away it is? How can I set the target as like a distance calculator in Kerbal 2? So my periapsis is what, 43k? Here's what I'm thinking about doing. If we just burn, instead of prograde, what direction is normal from here? What if we just radial out? I should make a save. Minmus, desperation. Okay, if we just burn radial out. That should slow us down. Wait, no it won't. It'll slow us down around this side. And then I'm gonna switch back to prograde. God, rendezvous is a pain in the ass. It's especially a pain in the ass when your lander is bugged. Okay, waiting for this to line up with this. Okay, lander should be sort of catching up to us around this bend. And then I'm just gonna eyeball it. Chad, do you see the problem with where we're at right now? Like, even if I reunite them, I have 185 meters per second delta V to get back to Kerbin. So this is just a failed project anyways. Okay, they're really, really close. Can I see them? They're not that close. How do you tell how close they are? In Kerbal Space Program 1, there's a way to see how distance to target. I guess we just have to math it out. They're about 8,000 meters apart. And we should be getting closer. I'm gonna try going back to the tracking station and switch vessels. Just don't open the map. Oh shit, yeah, not opening the map is gonna be problematic. Oh, it's right there. And time warp should put us even closer together for a bit. Starting to overshoot it though. This thing, it barely functions and doesn't have any fuel, so what I'm gonna do You just go towards it. I don't know if this works the way that I think it does. I can't set that as a target, though. Oh, we're getting closer. I can't open the map, because the map bugs this. I might be able to open the map if I don't create a maneuver node, but I'm also not willing to take that risk. Because my staging is totally bugged on this thing. Double click on default name. Why did you say that? Did you just literally make that up? Why would you lie on the internet? Okay, we're getting closer. We have some fuel left. I'm just gonna, like, make another save. And then time warp a bit. We're under 2 kilometers away. One kilometer. Okay. So we're approaching quite quickly. Once we get under 500 meters, I'm gonna start using reverse RCS to slow down. I'm impressed that we can just sort of eyeball it some distance at least. So that's nice. Now, anything after that is going to be very tricky. All right, let's slow down. Before we just pass it up. Which is sort of what we're already doing. Goodbye! Oh, shit. I can't set it as a target. Can you just let me click on the thing? I clicked it. Okay.
This is the gift sub's house.
Set as target. Now just face the target. Just give a tiny thrust boost. Let's actually thrust like this way. Too much. Too much juice. Thruster's too strong. Did I just accidentally open the landing legs? Ah! We're almost out of monopropellant. We need to slow this down. Okay, we don't have much monopropellant left. Let's go ahead and go target. Okay, lock it in. Gonna need to do this myself. Okay, now face target again. We're almost out of juice, chat. RCS is almost gone, so we're gonna have to do the rest from the other ship. Let's stop them from colliding first, shall we? Let's change target until we get, like, relative... .1. With the tiniest bit of monopropellant left. Alright, switch. Boop. Hello, friend. Why are you blue? I need to be able to mouse over the dock and set it as a target, and I can't get it to highlight. Dock. Dock. I can move the camera with the arrow keys. That helps a lot, actually. There we go. There's a dock. Set it as a target. Now, hit home to reset the cam. That did not reset the cam. Home, reset the cam. We're gonna tell SAS. These look pretty steady relative. We have a ton of monopropellant on this thing, so that's pretty stable right now. So let's do RCS on, engaged, and we're not going to switch to docking mode. We're just going to change to target, and I'm happy with 0.7 meters per second. That's perfectly fast. We want to keep this slow and steady, chat. Under 40 meters. Closing. Doesn't look like we're going to be doing donuts around this one. Looks good, looks good. Prograde is slightly off of where we want it to be for this. But I think that we'll be going slow enough that we probably can just get in there. I can't use any controls to translate port or starboard, or else it's going to be a big problem. So what's probably going to have to happen is I'm going to turn... Okay, I'm going to turn this to lock. I need to figure out how to do this myself. I'm going to take it manual, I guess. Hold. Okay, because I need to overcompensate for this. Oh dear. I think that was generous. I think that was generous, but I definitely didn't ram into it. Like a glove. I did not ram into it. I was going like 0.4 meters per second. Docking magnetism is OP. Yep, docking magnetism is OP. Well, now we're never gonna get home, so at least they're together. At least they are together. We only have 108 meters per second delta V, apparently. We also have this eternal problem where the thuds don't turn off. And staging is a complete mess. Mission accomplished, everybody. Mission accomplished. Whew. Okay, well, if we did get home and have more than 108 meters per second of delta V, then I'd probably just set Kerbin as a target. Chat, where would you burn around this Minmus orbit to try and break free of Minmus and just get Kerbin capture? I don't think the lander is completely empty. I don't think, can Phil transfer through a docking port though? Let's do this first. Let's go ahead and get SAS on, see if SAS works. 2, I want to set this as the control point. 3, I want to get, is it Bob? Bob out of EVA. I guess he could just go through the hatch, right? Does he even need to do an EVA? I can just, how do you move him? Yo, he can just go through the dock hatch. That's sick. Okay. Let me rechat. Burn towards Minmus. I don't know which way is Minmus retrograde direction. In that orbit, burn prograde just before periapsis. You might be able to use Resource Manager to just transfer into the main tanks. Okay. So we got Methalox. We do have like 1.2 tons. What do the arrows mean? Oh, dude. Okay. So we can set up the X200, which is the back one, to be in, and then out for the lander, and then start the transfer. Noom. Okay, so we have fuel now. We have 389 meters per second delta V. Then, because this is an emergency, of course, we're gonna abandon the lander. Chat, the monopropellant is non-existent in the lander, you silly, silly micromanaging gooses. It has... I'm not joking when I say it has 0 monopropellant. 0 tons. Not even a .01. It has 0. It has this much. That's how much monopropellant it has. There you go. We transferred it all right. We got it all. A crumb. Please, just a crumb of monopropellant. Okay, next, say goodbye to the lander. Separation complete. Let's control. Why are there sparkles? Oh, it was just... Hold on. There we go. Let's back it up. Get clearance. Bob, Bill, and Melly are back. United. We've got 600 meters per second delta V now because we dropped the lander. Hell yeah. Okay. Now, where are we doing this burn? Which way does Minmus rotate? That way. Because everyone keeps saying you're supposed to burn retrograde of Minmus rotation. It's rotating counterclockwise. I would just time warp and watch. Well, we should also save again. Frequently. Well, it's not even moving at 100x speed, really. Where? What's the gray bar? Oh, that's the oh, wait. How is the orbit of default? How is it on a crash trajectory? I don't know. I guess it's just gonna die. Why would it become? We both separated in a perfect orbit. Why would the lander be on a crash trajectory? It didn't just suddenly thrust in one direction. Kraken claims the lander. Those separators have some serious delta V. Okay, so all I need is like 50 delta V to just get the heck out of here, I think. I think that's not retrograde, though. Chat wanted me to burn this way. But this would take me 3 times as much delta V to break. I think that would have been better if I was taking off. I need to burn prograde. Burn prograde when you're between Minmus and Kerbin. It seems like it's putting me further away. But I guess that's fine. You want to... Yeah, I would want to be in a different orbit than this. I'll remember that for the next time. Just something like this is fine. We got only 62 delta V. In fact, I just want to kind of get out of here, so we're just gonna burn prograde like right now. Yeah, let's just go. It's Minmus. But yeah, we can strive for perfection on the next mission. Okay, and let's burn. Neum. Bye, Minmus. you stinky. I can't believe that in spite of literally breaking the map and everything else, we got the Kerbals back. The gang is back. Also, I think that the debris is actually not crashing. I think the map... Wait, is it trailing behind us? I have no idea where it thinks it's going. It's just like hitched on the back of our... Yeah, I think the map is just busted. That's 38 kilometers away now. Goodbye, sheep. There goes Lil Minmus. Towards the deep dark of space. And hopefully an escape trajectory through this weird blue wormhole that they picked the same color as the line for your map marker. How are you going to land? Very carefully. That's why we planned so far ahead. Okay, chat, so... My problem is I need to burn retrograde to shorten this up, but if I burn retrograde, I'm going to end up getting captured by Minmus again. So maybe we just... I don't need to wait until I get to 54,000 kilometers versus 38,000. I got plenty of Delta V. I just need to get home. Even at periapsis, we just now hit 100 Delta V. So, this should be a piece of cake. I wish you could see your periapsis height, though. But yeah, there's your collision at just half a tank. So we're good. I don't need to do it at periapsis. I was just proving a point. I just need to get far enough away from Minmus. And we can kind of just do this anywhere. So, burn retro. Unfortunately, when you're making a maneuver, the only way to see periapsis is to left-click, which stops the actual maneuver node. You can't see a periapsis or apoapsis of the maneuver, which is very silly. The least information possible while planning maneuvers. Everything is just a guess, a hope, and a prayer. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and fast forward now. Too fast, too furious. I do not believe in warping to node in Kerbal 1 or Kerbal 2 for that matter. 219 delta V meters per second. That's how you say that, of course, scientifically. Let's go ahead and face the maneuver. Perfect. Glad SAS is working again. Everything's much easier with an old friend. All right, let's make another save as well. Minmus, return to Kerbin. Always saving. We've had to reload many times today. By the way, thanks for the subs that I missed. Sorry I missed you. Maluda Kilo, thank you for the 26 months. Welcome back, Maluda Kilo. Fobro for a 13th. Hi, Fobro. Mad Dog gifted a sub to Squeal Pig. Enjoy, Squeal Pig. And thanks for being back for 18 months. And then Skivs earlier, we went to one moon. Not the moon, but we went to another moon. Different moon. This should be a pretty easy burn where we can wait for the burn timer, we cannot wait for the burn timer. I don't think it matters here. We'll do it with like a few seconds left. 3, go ahead and do it now. And I'm just gonna look at the map while this fires off. We just want the periapsis to come down. I'm right clicking it, there we go. 10,000, 9,000 kilometers. We want to bring that periapsis down out of the thousands of kilometers to about 35-kilometer periapsis. So we need to slow our throttle down so we can have more fine control over this number. About 10% throttle. And perfect. Okay, we are on a absolutely flawless course back to Kerbin. Now, I'm gonna make another save here. Like I said, can't save often enough because staging may still be busted. This is the part where we're gonna ditch the tank. I don't know if we should be doing that before, or I guess we should wait until we're much closer, just in case the separation, the ejection force, causes issues. This does have RCS thrusters, but I don't know if it has fore and aft thrust or just rotational, because it looks like just rotational. But we do have a stage separator under here with a heat shield, which of course is unnecessary, but we're going to ride with the heat shield anyway, because this is Kerbal Space Program, not, you know, Kerbal no heat or thermodynamics program. So just in case the separation causes too much of an issue. Where is Kerbin? Is that Minmus? Kerbin. Well, there you are. I see you. No jump scares this time, please. Speed is accelerating. By the time we get there, we'll be going probably thousands of meters per second. This is a long voyage. Is this day 62? It's a long voyage. Might be stranded out here in space for a bit. But you can see where we're at on this line. We're at 1,000 times speed. I can go faster, but oh yeah, no, we're far enough away. I am honestly very happy with the fact that we were able to complete both of those docking maneuvers, in spite of all the difficulties. It wasn't efficient in terms of how much fuel I had to use, but it was a really good learning experience. And I enjoy that style of gameplay to the point where I think it would be fun to try and set up like a space station with multiple parts and multiple trips. That'll definitely be a project for the future in Kerbal 2, given all the issues. All right, we're starting to pick up speed now, almost 400 meters per second. You can see the moon. It's gonna cross our path right here. But yeah, I still don't have like a good grasp of the controls for docking, as far as port and starboard and dorsal, etc. But I have a pretty good... I feel like I did a decent job of manually correcting for the fact that I didn't know how, like kind of eyeballing what direction we were moving and then just turning and then using forward thrust to correct for the direction that we were donutting around. All right, we're about 8,000 kilometers and rapidly closing almost 1,000 meters per second. So I have to slow down the warp to 100 times speed. We're moving so fast that I honestly think this is probably a good time to save again. Case of bugs. And even just turning prograde is losing periapsis here, which is interesting. Okay, chat, are we ready to try stage separation? So, spacebar is going to dump everything below this decoupler, which is, in this case, most of our monopropellant inside of a cargo bay and what's left of our fuel reserves. In this case, 300 meters per second delta V. Stand by for separation. I hit spacebar and nothing. Oh my goodness, what is this? There we go. Just hit spacebar again. Surprise! That increased our periapsis to 37K. That's fine. Totally fine. And that part will just... It would probably burn up an atmosphere, right? Typically. But there's our heat shield. Heat shields I don't think have separators automatically in this game, so I built a separator so that we could manually push it off when we're ready to land. And let's head on in, chat. Trying to get a nice cinematic just floating up there in space. Go away. I have to take 2 screenshots because the first one does the GUI. All right, 6,000 kilometers. Almost accelerating over 1,000 meters per second here. And we will continue accelerating. We're going to aero brake into a landing. We're going to land wherever we land. Good luck. So there is still drag and atmospheric deceleration, but we don't have to worry about heat. I just put the heat shield on because, you know, makes me feel good for a little bit of RP. Litho breaking, let's go. That's exactly right. I am very much looking forward to when those visuals get put in the game. That's going to be awesome. Because it always feels so cool being like a Ginyu Force in the sand pod, you know? Hurtling back into atmosphere. All right, now we're at 2,000 meters per second. Only 700 kilometers. Going 10 times warp, just because it's fun to look at. $2,500 meters per second. Ground coming up in 500 kilometers. We're going to slingshot around the side of Kerbin and start catching atmospheres shortly. Because now we're really Newman. 3,000 meters per second with 200 kilometers to go. $100 kilometers. All right, let's slow it down now because we're almost in atmosphere, so we need to lock in a retrograde position and sit back and get ready to decelerate from over 3,200 meters per second now. We have hit atmosphere. Just the top. And you're going to start to see the periapsis down here shrink as we begin slowing down. 56,000. We'll start decelerating shortly. You're not going to get to see the red plume around this. Like I said, the thermal reentry is not in the game yet. But we will be decelerating as we get caught up in here anyways. And for a visual representation of that, you can see that apoapse is shrinking as we decelerate. Okay, we're at 40,000. The air is starting to get denser and thicker, and we're continuing to decelerate. Under 3,000 meters per second now. We're still going incredibly fast. All right, apoapsis is down to 1,000 kilometers. There we go. We're just now hitting our periapsis. We are coming in hot, yeah. This is normally when the heat would just be going back up into an encore orbit. Nah, we're not going to go back up. Apoapsis is still shrinking rapidly. That would be funny if we bounced, though. I know we're technically going back up. I mean, we're not going back to a full orbit. You stinky. Apoapsis is now under 70K. And there's periapsis dropping to negatives. Apoapsis is locked in at 41,000 and still dropping, so yeah, we're good. We're good. Probably should aim for 30,000 for litho braking next time from that distance. instead of like 35,000. I'd be curious to see how much heat absorption this shield would have, because it has like a max amount that it can endure. But I think I've never seen it get under like 80%. The Apollo capsules had a re-entry speed of 11,000 meters per second. Yeah, now we're sinking. "11 kilometers per second is about the slowest anything can enter Earth from outside." Yeah, Kerbin is not Earth. Okay, chat, we've been up here a while. This is actually the longest I've just been chilling in atmosphere. But now we're going just 1,600 meters per second. Bring Apoaps is really far down now. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now, as long as the Kraken doesn't eat our lander, I mean our pod, then this has been a great success. Yeah, they haven't implemented the heat system yet. Woo! The number of bugs we had to fight to get to this point is too damn high. But we're back after a successful, in air quotes, Minmus mission. All that did was prove how solid the build was, because that build had plenty of juice to do what we needed it to do. And we did suboptimal orbits around Minmus. You know, there was definitely, we had suboptimal RCS placement. And still managed to get back and reunite. We even used the wrong vehicle because the other one was bugged for docking, and that still worked. Ooh, very cool. Okay, what I want to do is go ahead and deploy the drogue chutes. Go ahead and turn off SAS. This is what the drogue chutes are for. Okay, now that we have that, I want to go ahead and separate the heat shield. Okay, I should have waited until the drogue chutes deployed. This is fine. I thought the drogue chutes were slowing us down more than the air resistance of the heat shield. I thought. Why? It's so slow. Why is that dropping? These heat shields are supposed to be very heavy. All right, let's go ahead and deploy main chutes. Drogue shoots are slowing us down to about 45 meters per second. And now let's hope the Kraken has mercy on our command pod. I'm not fast forwarding. I'm just gonna chill here. I'm also glad that we fixed the bounce on this. It's fairly stable right now. All the way out here in the middle of the ocean. Hey, what's up, Argento? Yeah, I'm having fun. Once we successfully troubleshoot the problems that are keeping us from having fun, I'm having fun. And thanks for the sub. Appreciate the prime. I'm just really looking forward to, like, okay, when we successfully did our first and second docking maneuver in Kerbal, that just made me even hungrier for the future. Because I'm looking forward to putting a bunch of resources in a custom build and then linking that up with... We're going 9.6 meters per second. Whew. Kind of a fast touchdown, but... well within the 15 meter per second rating of this capsule. One drogue chute is coming along for the ride, I think. I'm gonna cut that chute. And the water seems to be flowing in a very fast motion. We're riding the waves. Oh, dear Lord. Oh my God, look at it's tossing us around! Scrambled eggs in here. Why are we moving so fast? Choppy what? We're doing... oh, what the hell? No friction on this. Okay, all right, okay. You may continue. Like skipping a rock. Yeah, speed goes over 10 meters per second sometimes. For the record, I'm not pushing any buttons. Ah, God. There's only one thing for it. This is the end of Inception. Okay, it's actually upside down now. Wow! Single-handedly... Wait. Oh no. Music is strangely fitting. I don't know what... Oh, there's the water. We're at the maximum depth. The Kraken is on its way. Why are we at 20 meters per second sometimes? $25 meters per second relative to what? I can't... We're so deep, I can't... Why are we sinking? How deep is the ocean? We're 1,300 meters below sea level and still going. We're falling at a rate of 25 meters per second, I think. Chat, this is going to be a world-first Kerbal Space Program 2 ocean floor exploration mission. Okay? We're going to keep going until we hit the deepest trench on Kerbin. I don't know how long that's going to take. Because we're not accelerating anymore. Mission control. It appears that the bottom of the ocean is negative 2,118 meters below the surface. We have lost contact with all aboard. It would appear that we are now just a single MEM-125 fairing. We struck the floor at 25 meters per second. We really should have seen this coming, but we did find the bottom.
Ah! My face right before I crash into the bottom of the sea at 25 meters per second. Ah!
We used litho braking after all. Yes, we did. Impact. All right, let's recover vessel in the real timeline. The actual mission was a great success. I mean, other than the, you know, dozens and dozens of bugs that we faced along the way. For those of you that missed what we started with, I'll show you. This is not an authentic, realistic ship. I tried to get more realistic than I usually do, but I am not smart enough to figure out how to use, put landers into cargo bays yet, so we didn't get that far. That'll be next time. But this is the one, this is what we launched with. It was inspired by the Apollo docking system, though. And that's how we learned how to dock. This was a wobbly boy. He was a little too tall. A little too tall, but still decent profile. Large main body with 4 SRBs to get us to orbit. We probably have too much juice on this thing. The lander is here. So this is the lander bit that you saw. And then this is the portion that got us back to Kerbin. We separated the large tank right in there. But yeah, definitely some things that I would improve on a future build. But we also spent a lot of time yesterday perfecting the launch escape system. Yo, streamer, when you gonna launch? Evanitos is 56 months under the sea. Thanks for the 57 months, actually. Let me know when you figure out how to count, Evanito. Thanks for the sub. And Shadowlight also priming for 52 months. Hey, what's up, Shadowlight? Test 561. Ow. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Time to go to Duna. I don't think now's the time to go to Duna in Kerbal 2. Don't worry about that, chat. Don't worry about the subtle rocking back and forth. How do I open this fairing? Oh, I think it's already done. You know how you can tell heat damage is not in the game yet? I finally made it to the moon. Nice, I caught it. Good job. All right, whatever. Launch abort. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Not yet, not yet, not yet. No, not yet. We did it. Yeah. I have to do something very important. What? Here we go! Oh, no! No, that's not how it's supposed to go. That's not how it's supposed to go. We're too close to the launch pad. It's got to be right over there. It's got to be over there. How do we... It's too close to the pad. How do you get out of this menu? Is there a version of this that I saved that is just the launch escape system? He's trying to trigger the railgun. Yeah, the Kerbal railgun. That was fun. I want to do it again and see if we get a different result. We only did it one time. Should have saved it as its own vehicle. I think it's loading. Well, that didn't really change anything. Okay, what if we just did this? Delete. Wow, look how good my frames are. Little stormtrooper. Oops. Oh no! Uh-oh. Wrong button. That was the wrong button. Wow, this thing's got too much juice. Okay, that's gonna be a revert to launch situation. Did we need that? One more time. Recreating bugs is hard, okay, chat? It's hard. There we go. Wait, why are the parachutes out? Shit. No, that's not what I wanted. Why are the parachutes out? And we stuck the landing! Yeah! Jeb is saved. Just like we drew it up. That's a different kind of launch escape system. Okay, this time we're gonna do it right. Recreating bugs is hard. Okay, and escape. Oh, we didn't do, yeah, I forgot to make a separator there. Okay, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Yeah, I forgot a key detail of this. It's been a long day, chat. It's been a long day. Hello, Purple Onion. Thanks for subbing again for a second month, and welcome back for one more. What up, Purple Onion? Why do you rush your launches? Because it's not a real launch. These are all pretend. We already did the mission today. You just got here, okay? You just got here. You typed 1 time today, 6 times yesterday. Not even following the channel, just some random person. Okay, so we gotta keep... that, and then we put the booster underneath, connected to the separator. Imagine thinking Etal rushes anything. Wow, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, what camera is this? Again. Now. Abort launch. Deploy chutes. Quick, quick, open up. Why are you taking so long? You're gonna land me in the water. It might work. Might still work here. All right, chat, get ready. Get ready. Yeah! We have duplicated our past success. The Kraken still lurks. Wait, what? Oh, I thought wait, that was with crash damage? That was with crash damage. It didn't insta-explode. We just got yeeted? That's the first time we've got yeeted without crash damage. Or with crash damage. Highest speed, 1,838 meters per second. Wow. Can we beat that? Chad, I saw people on the internet posting land speed records. Does that count as a land speed record? I mean, I hit the ground. Listen, if somebody runs fast, they are considered on land, yes? Even though there are times during their stride where neither of their feet are touching the ground. When I hit the ground, that's just taking one really long stride. I just only take 2 strides. The first one here, bing, and then it goes all the way over, and then I land on the second one. Just a big jump. Okay, again. So the key is to land in the grass, like right in here. Or just like, it has to be slightly away from the launch pad. Like usually anywhere in this area works. We haven't really tested on the other side. But if you land anywhere, especially if you angle down where a corner touches, if you land flat, it doesn't do it. If you hit it with like a corner of this command pod, it works. We did extensive testing on this yesterday. Except we didn't do it with damage off, so this is all new. Why is the chute making us go slow? What? Does it not say? No crash damage is on! Why are we dead? I should be immortal! No, it reset to off. You saw it. No crash damage was on, now it's off. I have altered the rules. Etel, do you think if we put a crap ton of weight on it, it'll fling you into space? Maybe. I just don't know how... Okay, if there's no crash damage... I have an idea. What if I create... Well, I think if we just impact the ground with more speed, that will make up for the lack of weight. So I'm going to create a custom action group to cut all the chutes. This is a dangerous button. Okay, utility. Cut. Cut that chute. Cut that chute. Cut that chute. Perfect. Okay, let's try that. Checking settings. No crash damage on. Apply. Changes applied. Confirmed. Close. Open. On. Apply. Close. Let's launch it. Skip countdown. Go. Get us off of the immediate area around the launch pad. Send the escape pod. Deploy chutes. Cut the LES. SAS on is fine. Okay, action group to cut chutes. Nosing down, accelerating. 80 meters per second impact. Oh. What? Theory incorrect. We're definitely far enough away. There's a bug with this bug. Too fast for the Kraken. Possible, yeah. Again. Alright, we can go a little further, because I think it should work over here too, maybe. And parachutes. Let's just try not dropping this time and see if the parachute will yeet us. Let's see if that's enough by itself, without the cutting. Nope, didn't involve any time warp shenanigans. It's simply, we've just been parachuting down and letting the corner touch the ground first. Kind of like that, but that was a much more... That was a much more muted reaction. But you could see it there. And sometimes it just, like, it actually just picks you up and hurls you. Okay, let's do... I'm done with that. What's going on with the stage UI? I don't know. It's been bugged the entire time. Uh-oh. Okay, no, we're fine. I want to play with the plane. I want to play with the plane. Oops. This is not how plane takes off. Not again. It's perfect. We have to specify the runway. One day I'll build my own plane, but I feel like building your plane in Kerbal 2 is going to be just an exercise in frustration right now. Get some daylight. Brakes off. Because after I saw the wings warping on reset launch bug, I just don't have any desire to recreate that myself. Okay, we got takeoff. Let's go ahead and pick the gear up. Start adjusting trim. Trim looks decent. Slow down a bit. And prepare to do some sweet tricks. Some really sweet tricks, dude. Easy peasy. Barely an inconvenience. But the planes are very fun to fly, even with mouse and keyboard. I want to make some that have a little bit more control. This one doesn't exactly pull the high G turns. It's very comfortable. Why does the music keep changing? It's freaking me out. Easy, golden. Entering and exiting biomes? Yeah, maybe. Time to bust out the HOTAS. The island runway has the same Kraken glitch. The, what, just bounces you? Turn clipping back on. Oh, you mean damage? I didn't hit anything anyway. Damage is actually on. Alright, let's bring it in for a landing, chat. Definitely want some more bridges and stuff to do tricks around. How did I just turn mouse look on? Cease! Alright, I'm banking as hard as I can right now, while also shaving off some speed. Go ahead and pop the landing gear. We need to be going slower than 109 meters per second. All right, 80 or so is fine. Bounce. Little bounce. But still making it look pretty easy. There we go. Ah, feels good. That's some quick Warzone landing. Yeah, we just rotated all the way, like hard bank onto the runway. Every bridge they add to the game is another frame per second lost. Hey Chen, have you ever done like runway skateboard tricks? This just makes me want to play Microsoft Flight Sim. Like I said, runway skateboard tricks. I think the engine's dead, yeah. We just lost our, Wow, this thing is pretty sturdy. The wheels seem way sturdier compared to before. Now I'm just goofing to see how much it can handle. I'm just trying to see what drop the wheels survive. Wow, springy. In Kerbal 1, those would have easily broken. Bonk. Why so heavy? Dude, that like fast running bug yesterday was hilarious. I miss the ragdoll. A stiff breeze destroyed most things in Kerbal 1. Yeah, that's pretty true. All right. I think that's gonna be a good stopping point. I don't have another. I'm not gonna start another mission right now. We had to fight. We had to fight to get to Minmus and back, but we did it. We beat the SAS bugs. We beat the docking bugs. We beat the map bugs. We beat the disappearing vehicle bugs. We beat the fall through the earth. Fall through Minmus bugs. We beat the missing node bugs. We missed the absence of maneuverability on the map bugs. We beat them all. We managed to dock not once but twice successfully, which I feel like makes up for me getting frustrated yesterday. So yeah, we'll just say this is a nice short conclusion from yesterday's stream. I didn't want to leave unfinished business. So I hope you had fun with a little 5-hour bonus stream on Sunday. So I'm going to say that's going to be it for me in Kerbal 2 right now, I think. I just wanted to, you know, fix the unfinished business. And dock successfully. And also go to Minmus successfully. Chat, let's go say what's up to EJ, who is streaming right now. He was playing some Kerbal 2 earlier. Now he's doing some actual real rocket ship coverage. So I'm gonna send you guys over there. There's a SpaceX Crew 6 launch tonight. So we can watch that together with EJ. If you haven't already given him a follow, now's a great time to do so. Maybe you can ask him what he thinks about Kerbal 2. I'm sure it'll be similar to what I'm thinking, but yeah, we're gonna give Kerbal 2 some time to cook in the oven a bit. I don't mean let them cook. Okay, yes I do. Let them cook. Just let them cook. Yes, ask him that. I'm sure EJ loves being asked what he thinks about Kerbal 2. He definitely hasn't been asked probably thousands and thousands of times already. But I'll see you guys again. I might take a day off tomorrow, since I didn't take any weekend days. So just FYI. Need a little breather while I figure out what I want to do next. Because I don't know if I want to check out Sons of the Forest again or not. But like I said, we're going to say Kerbal 2 just needs some time for patches and some polishing. But I did have fun, I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the last few streams. Getting to check out some new games is good. All right, get out of here. I'll see you guys in a couple days.